Hi friends, welcome back to our Salt and Soul virtual studio. Today we'll be going through a 15-minute yoga flow for stress and anxiety. So welcome to our nice little setup today. We'll get started in a hero pose. So kneeling and sitting on your heels and feet. Bringing one hand to your chest and one hand to your belly. You can let those eyes close as we take a few cleansing breaths together here. We'll start by inhaling through the nose to fill up. Exhale through the mouth, sigh it out. Again, inhale, fill up. Exhale, let it all go, open mouth. Can keep going with these breaths, taking your time. Can close your mouth and just take some breaths through the nose here. Whatever feels good, remembering that this is your practice, taking whatever you need today. Maybe using this time as a simple reminder to slow down. We'll start off with some neck rolls, gentle and around to one side. Taking 3 in a row, nice and slow. Last one here. And then we'll switch it, going around the opposite direction toward the left here. Last one. And coming back to center. Inhale, bring those arms up overhead. Exhale, drop that right arm down to your side and reach over with the left, opening up that side body here. Can keep your eyes closed or have a soft gaze. So we just warm up this body and stretch a few things out. Last breath here. And then releasing that left arm back down to the mat. We'll inhale those arms up overhead again, dropping that left hand down to the mat and reaching over with the right. Letting your head hang here. One more breath. And then slowly rising back to center, dropping that right arm. Can take some shoulder rolls backwards and then forwards. And then we'll roll over, flipping into a tabletop position in the middle of your mat, facing forward. We'll go through our cat-cows here to loosen up the spine. So on your inhale, drop your belly, gaze goes high. Exhale, arch the spine, look between your thighs. Inhaling for your cow and exhaling for your cat. We'll go through a few more of these here, matching your breath with those movements. Finding one more of these full round wherever you are. Meeting in a neutral tabletop position, we'll thread the needle, reaching that right arm high, and then threading it over to the left side of the mat. Left arm reaches high. Can stay here. Take the bind with that left arm, reaching around like you're going to tuck it in the front of your right denim pocket. Gaze is out toward that right hand. Taking one more full breath here. And then slowly releasing that left arm overhead, bringing it back to neutral and pressing back into a tabletop. Feel free to take a cat-cow to the spine here. We'll switch it, so bringing that left arm high, threading it over to the right side of your mat. Right arm comes to the top of the mat. You can stay here or feel free to reach around with the bind, trying to tuck that right hand into that front denim pocket on your left hip. One more breath here. And then releasing that right hand down to the mat. Can bring it back to neutral and press back into a tabletop position. Again, feel free to take a cat-cow here, whatever feels good. And then from here, we'll tuck those toes, send the hips back into a downward dog. Feel free to pedal out the feet here, stretching out those hamstrings. can come high on the toes and then try to drive your heels down into the mat. Pressing that chest back toward your thighs, gaze is high between your legs. Shift your weight forward, tippy toe walk to the top of your mat to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to the shins, flat back, gaze is forward. Exhale, forward fold, gentle bend in the knees, let your head hang. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, dive back down into a forward fold, hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, step it back, right foot, then left into a high plank. Drop your knees, untuck your toes, lower down, keeping the elbows in. Inhale, pressing up into a cobra for a baby back bend, thighs are down. Exhale, tuck the toes, send everything back, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, then the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back to a high plank. Drop down to the knees, extend those toes, and lower down for your modified chaturanga. Pressing up into a cobra, just a mini back bend here. Tucking those toes and press back to downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward, then the right to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the mat. Inhale, rise up, arms come overhead. Bring them down through heart center and out by your side for Tadasana. Nice job with that. Feel free to shake it out, grab a drink, take a break. When you're ready, we'll rejoin in standing at the backs of the mat. So at the bottom of your mat, facing forward, you can inhale, bring those arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, diving down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, walk your hands out into a high plank here. Option to take a modified flow, or you can try a full chaturanga, lowering down, flipping those toes and inhaling to an upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your right leg high into three-legged dog. Step it forward and then drop that left shin down to the mat. Extend the toes. Arms come overhead into kneeling crescent lunge. Bending into that front knee. One more breath here. And then shift your weight back, straightening out that right leg, flexing that front foot. You can walk that foot out a little bit further here, trying to bring your knee to your nose. Option to airplane those arms behind you, or you can just keep them resting on your mat. Slowly just folding forward here, keeping a slight bend in that front knee, and then rocking back into that low lunge, tucking those back toes and rising up into a crescent lunge here. Open up warrior two. Holding here for a breath, and then we will swivel those feet around to the left side of the room, interlace those hands behind your back, and take a forward fold, tossing those arms overhead, keeping those legs spread wide, and then releasing those hands down to the mat whenever feels good for you. Bring those hands back to the hips and slowly roll back up to standing. Turn that front foot back into a warrior two. Reverse your warrior, and on your exhale, cartwheel those hands down to the mat, step it back, and take a vinyasa. Option to modify this and come down to the knees, take a cobra, whatever back bend feels good, and meet me back in a downward dog. Left leg comes high, step it forward, and then drop that right shin down to the mat, toes are long, arms come overhead for kneeling crescent. One more breath here. And then shifting your weight back, straightening out that front left leg, option to airplane the arms, and flexing that front left foot. Keeping a soft bend in the knee, can bring those hands down to the mat. Option to walk that foot out a little bit further in front of you, bringing your knee to your nose, or trying to fold your chest down to lay on your thigh. Rocking back into that kneeling crescent. Tuck those back toes, arms come overhead for a crescent lunge. Open up warrior two, sinking into that front knee. And then we'll swivel that left foot to face the right side of the room. Bring those heels in, toes come out, cactus the arms, and sink down into a goddess pose. Squeezing those shoulder blades together, shining the chest for one more breath. And on your next exhale, hands come down to the mat, taking the wide leg fold on this side as well. Just stretching yourself between your legs. Bring those hands to the hips and slowly roll up, turning that front foot back into a warrior two. Reverse your warrior. And then cartwheel those hands down to the mat. Step it back. Take a vinyasa. So join me in a chaturanga. Flip the toes up dog. Press back downward facing dog. Nice job with those. We'll drop down to the knees. Sending those knees wide. Heels come into touch and take a child's pose for a few breaths here. Last breath here. And then rolling back up into a tabletop position whenever you're ready. We will flip on over onto our backs for our final few cool down stretches and poses here. Can bend those knees and walk your feet in towards your bottom here. Option to just rock your knees side to side and windshield wiper the legs, stretching out that lower back here. We will set up to take a few bridges here. So setting those feet, walking them in close to your bottom, and then on your next breath, rising up, lifting those hips and pelvis up toward the ceiling, squeezing those glutes. One more breath. And then slowly lowering back down, resetting the pelvis here. Finding another bridge on your next breath here, so setting those feet and then lifting up. Option here to interlace the hands underneath you and try to walk those shoulders in, squeezing them under. Just giving yourself a bit more of a back bend in this bridge. Last breath. And then lower everything back down to the ground. You can hug those knees into your chest. Gently rocking side to side and just giving yourself some gratitude. Send that left leg out long, keeping that right knee hugged in. We'll cross it over to the left side of the mat. Right arm is out long and gazes out toward that right hand. Slowing down the breath. And then releasing that right leg, sending it out long, coming back to center. We'll hug that left knee in and then cross it over to the right side of the mat. Taking a twist here. Gazes out toward that left arm, which is out long. One more breath here. And then releasing that leg. Bringing both knees in. Bringing your arms between your knees and reaching for the outside edges of your feet. You can play around in a happy baby. Just extending and bending those knees. Can slowly and gently rock side to side if you'd like. Can join me in playing around with straightening the legs and bringing them to a pike. Just whatever last stretches here before we send both legs out long. Prepare to just take up space on your mat for a few breaths. Appreciating the stillness and the silence in our Shavasana. When you're ready, slowly wiggling those fingers and toes, bringing back some movement to the body. Can make your way back into a sitting position for one final cleansing breath together here. Hands can come to heart center. We'll inhale through the nose, all the good, all the things you're grateful for. Exhale, anything negative, anything stressing you out. The light in me sees and honors the same in you. We'll bow to seal our practice. Namaste, and thank you so much for flowing with me. Feel free to check out our next video in the lineup below. Thanks so much for supporting Salt and Soul. Have a great night.